just talk about yourself for a sec so that way the audience knows who you are.
Well, I just want to say thank you for having me. I'm super excited to be out of the house. It
Yeah.
feels good to be here. But yeah, like you said, my name is Austin Wyatt. I've been coming to Venture Church now. I think it was in 2014 was my first time. So it's been about 6 years,
Hmm.
pushing seven. And right now I'm currently working for an international sports ministry called Ambassadors Football.
Hey, talk about that for a sec.
So we do a lot of things. I'm in the Puebla, Mexico location. We're in 25 different countries globally, and I'm working in Mexico. And we do a lot of different thing. Every staff member does its own thing, but what I do specifically, I kind of do three things. I'll work at the soccer club. I'll do teach PE classes at the schools, and then I work in the communities doing outreaches.
That's awesome. So this is one of our missionaries that we have here. Also a good friend of mine. I got to coach you in soccer.
Way back in the day,
Yeah,
like
way
2008.
way back in the day, before you even came to the church, and then you kind of grew up through our church, went through the internship. And then you went to Northwest and graduated. And so, when did you discover your calling to be a missionary? What was that journey like for you?
So went on my first missions trip. Well, I became a Christian in 2011. A couple years later, I went on my first missions trip to Jinja, Uganda.
Hmm.
And Brittany Metcalf actually invited me, and she led the trip. And then Stephanie Heber, she was on that trip as well.
Hmm.
And that was my first time doing that kind of thing. We were there for 4 weeks. We were just like working in the slums, working in orphanages, working in churches, like the whole experience being there, trying to learn new languages and culture and eating new foods and everything about it just really, I don't know, there's something about it that kind of pulled me, and I was like, I kind of want to go back. I like what we were doing and everything it was about, and so I was just excited to I think that's where it started, was Uganda.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So, how has this past year being in Mexico? How has that changed your faith?
Man, in a lot of ways, working in the communities I'm working with, working inside a ministry is my first job, like ministry job
Yeah.
like this, and working with the kids and constantly trying to teach the Bible and teaching Christian values to all of our kids. I don't know, it's giving me more faith. It's giving me more compassion and love for these kids. I mean, it's drastically affected my faith.
So, I want people to take themselves out of the moment that they're in right now and put themselves in other people's shoes. You just came back from Mexico. It was really fast. You dropped everything and
Yeah.
came here. It was a crazy trip for you. What is it like over in Mexico right now? Because right now we're so focused on America and us and everything else. And what is it like over in another country?
Mexico, well, I mean, I was alone in my house, and I was talking to my mom for a whole week. I was alone, and my mom was like, just come back. Just come back and be with your family if you're going to be on lockdown. And so, Mexico, lockdown, I was by myself. But I felt like the sense from the culture, it wasn't a real thing. The president didn't really acknowledge it as being a big deal. And so people were still going to parties. I was like locked in my house, and my neighbors were throwing parties outside,
Mm.
interacting with each other. I talk with my staff every morning. We have prayer at 8:30 in the morning, and they're telling me, giving me updates. People are still walking the streets, not a lot of masks, gloves. It's just kind of normal life. If people can afford it financially, they won't work.
Yeah.
So
So
it's
that's
different.
the big thing, that if they can't work at all and they rely on tourism, would you say that?
Tourism is huge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, but no one's traveling. So it probably things are pretty rough about now, right? Like,
Yeah, with some people staying inside, a lot of these small businesses rely on those everyday people coming into their stores and purchasing things. A lot of the minimum wage Mexicans will make like 100, 120 pesos a day, and their economy's dropping, so it's harder for them to afford things. So they're like in a position where they have to work. So it's crazy. They have to be in the streets. They have to be working, selling tacos on the streets. Like they have to be interacting with people, touching money, and just being interactive. So they
yeah,
have to be out there.
yeah, that's rough. So talk about your journey back for just a second, because I mean everything happened so quick for you. Are you itching to get back? Are you what is, I guess, what's your next move? For this next year?
I am itching to get back. I miss all my kids on the soccer club, in the schools that I teach at, and then in the communities as well. I just love all the kids. They're so amazing. Um, and I have been thinking, that's been one of my prayers recently, is direction and wisdom and where to go next. I've been invited to stay longer. I'm highly considering it. Of course, it's a big curveball with what's going on right now.
Yeah.
But I can definitely see myself doing another year or longer there. So,
Awesome.
yeah.
That's really, really cool. So how can we continue to partner with you at this time, and what's happening with Ambassador?
Continuing partnering with me.
Yeah.
You guys can always join my prayer team. I'm sending out monthly newsletters if you want to see my newsletters. I can give you my email, get you hooked up with that. You can always support me financially personally, or you can support our ministry as well through finances. So there's a bunch of stuff that we do, and there's a bunch of ways you can help support us.
Awesome. So if you didn't catch that, like, he came here, he started doing missions work here, and he is one of our own. And so I know money is tight for a lot of people right now, and so the last thing that you're thinking about is giving away any money. But this is an awesome young man. The ministry that they do over there is still happening, still being impactful. And so that is your opportunity. We'll have an email link on this video to where you can connect with Austin on that. So we always end with a time of hope. What would you say to give people hope in a time like now?
In a time like now, especially for us and the listeners in this community, I would say be thankful for what we have. I have been working in a community. A little story real quick. I just been working in a community called the Popolocas, and it's about an hour and a half away driving. And I go there once a month, and I've been going there for the last year once a month. And this is a indigenous group, so they don't even speak Spanish. They speak Giwa. They've learned to speak Spanish. But I've met little kids, they say something in Spanish to them, and they're just like, I don't know what you said. And some of the older adults, like the elders, they don't speak fluent Spanish. So there's a big language barrier. It's very, very low in poverty. I mean, it's not a lot of people have running water, clean drinking water. Most kids don't make it to high school. They'll start working at 14, 15. Girls are getting pregnant at 13, 12 years old. These people are so poor that some families will sell their daughters at 10, 11, 12 to other families to work for them, and sometimes that turns into like sexual favors as well. So it's a very unique community, poor. And so one time when I was doing an outreach there, I was talking about thankfulness to this group of about 20 kids, and I'm just like dirty shirts and ripped shoes and clothes falling off of them, hungry bellies. And we're like, what are you guys thankful for? And one kid raised his hand. He's like, I'm thankful I have shoes. I was like, your shoes are about to fall off your feet. Another kid, I'm thankful I have clothes, and your clothes are all tattered and dirty. No, I'm thankful for my family. And one kid was, I'm thankful for God. And so you see these people with nothing, and yet they're thankful. And so my encouragement and hope for you guys is to be thankful for what you have. I feel like it's a blessing to live in this area. So just, I don't know, change your perspective. Have that perspective of maybe if I don't have a lot, but I'm still thankful for what I do have.
So good. Thanks, man. I'm super proud of you. Like, it's awesome to see how much that you've grown and changed since when I first knew you as a soccer player. And so I'm excited, and I'm excited that Venture gets to partner with you.
Thank you.
During this time. And so, as always, I hope that this encouraged your faith. I hope that you've grown from this experience, and I hope that you have a good day.